Hey guys, last time on Following the Leading, Chad showed us the do's and don'ts of how to clean the RV air conditioning system. And we also received our mattress for the RV. It was the Zinus. Does sleep great. This week he'll be showing us how to install the King roof mount antenna. And we'll get that puppy up and running, and I hope it helps you guys out. So stay tuned.
Good morning, guys. Another early morning here. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. Changing out today the Batwing. If you were with me yesterday, we cleaned the air conditioners. Found out that my compressor was not bad. I just had a grommet that had failed and was creating a terrible vibration. And so we went ahead and serviced both units, got them all cleaned up, and man, they're doing great. It's kind of odd. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn. When I was up there, Amazon delivered our new queen size mattress, which is going to be a game changer on room. And we'll be doing a separate video for that, but the room looks a little odd this morning because me and Jenny actually slept in the living room on the fold-out sofa last night. So this thing could inflate fully. So I'm trying to be quiet. Hopefully you can hear me. Jenny's still asleep in the living room, but I'm fixing to get some shoes on, gather up tools, and get on the roof. Get this old Batwing down that is bent and just nearly impossible to crank up now. Get it down, and we're going to install the new King. I believe it's an 8500 series. I'll put a picture in right now of the box. So I'll see you in the shop. So if you're new to the channel, which you probably are because it's a new channel, unless this is really old and we were really good at this and have hundreds of videos up and you're binge watching, which I hope you are, you'll see that we have currently in July of 2021, whenever you're watching this, we have a 2015 Sandpiper fifth wheel. We brought it with second owners. The guy we purchased it from said he had used it just a few times while they were building a house. They thought they would live in it, and decided to buy another house while they were building the house. And so it was supposed to have very minimal use. Mixing up my favorite go fast drink in the morning. I don't do coffee till after lunch. So, but in in using this and in the remodel, it seemed anyway that it was used quite a bit more than that. So, and the maintenance and has been a lot more than expected. So I'm learning through Facebook groups and YouTube, obviously, that that there's just always something to do. It's been great. We wouldn't trade it for anything. If you haven't went back on our other videos, we sold our 2,400 square foot 2-story house, and I had a hot rod Camaro, and everything that we had thought we were aiming for, we got it, and realized that the dream we always had of downsizing and living on the road more was still there, and it was calling us probably more than ever. So we began downsizing and bought this fifth wheel, and I sold the Camaro and bought a big F550, and we started a remodel of front to back of this 43-foot sandpiper. So in part of this today, I don't know if you tuned in with my vlog yesterday, my process of trying to get to putting a new roof coating on is I do everything in steps. So I don't want to get a new roof up there and then change the antenna like we're going to do today and mess up that seal. So I had intended on starting the roof prep yesterday, and came home and found that my air conditioning unit was running like a diesel. Sounded terrible. And so if you were here yesterday, we cleaned those units and fixed that vibration. And today we're going to remove the old bat wing antenna, as they call it, the original stock crank up antenna. Gears are stripped out, it's wobbly, and replace it with the new King. Again, I'm sorry, I think it's 8500. I'll put the box in and show you the little unpacking, but it does not require being cranked up. So no more up and down. You just can tune it as you need it, but the reviews are great. It's supposed to pick up a lot of HD channels, and right now in the world of COVID, we're not moving, so we have a lot of free channels here in the North Dallas area. So looking forward to getting that swapped out, get a good seal, put it on that thing, and then we'll end this vlog somewhere in there today and jump over and pick right back up. And I'm going to start doing the self-leveling caulk around the skylights and the air conditioners and all the penetrations on the roof, in hopes that tomorrow I can start rolling the new roof coating on. And we're in a heat warning for 3 days in this area. The heat index is supposed to be around 110. And this new roof coating is supposed to reduce your roof temperature by up to 40 degrees and your interior temperature by up to 10. So with our 2 rooftop units running just non-stop, it seems like, to maintain, in the living room, high 70s. We've seen even 81, but the unit was really dirty. Yesterday it was much cooler, so I know the units are working a lot better than they were, but a 10-degree reduction inside will be a game changer. You take it from 80 to 70, that means the unit's satisfying, turning off, and actually taking a break sometimes. So anyway, I'm going to gather up some tools, and we'll go get on the roof and get that old ugly antenna down and get the new one up. Get started. This is one of those projects that you just open doors hoping you're gonna see like, oh yeah, I need that before you get on the roof. It's really, you shouldn't need much. You should just be really unscrewing it, cleaning off the self-leveling caulk that's existing, clean up the roof, start applying the new one. But we'll see. Maybe some degrees. Alright, so the rest of the material stuff's up at the house, so I think we're ready to grab it and jump on the roof. For now, we're parked here at our little house. We had planned on hitting the road and staying at state parks, and I was just going to commute to work, and then COVID. So we had always set this up as home base. We put in a septic and a 50 amp service, so it's an awesome spot. We love it here. And my parents live in our little house here, so it's great to be right here with family, and you know, the view ain't bad. But we are hoping to get out in the parks and start exploring a little more soon. So. Alright, so we're back. Made it up on the roof, and it just amazes me, even though it's only getting down in the high 70s, low 80s at night. Look at the dew. Roof is just soaked. Cars are soaked. So got a little paper out of one of the boxes here, sit my bag on, and first thing we're going to do is open up this box. So when you order this King Jack roof mounted directional HD antenna as a replacement, and I'll put the link below. Got this off Amazon. It's got great reviews. It's highly recommended by a lot of people in my RV Facebook group. But luckily, one of the guys told me when you order this, the mounting bracket, and you can mount it with this. I mean, this is a direct bolt application, so you can mount it that way. But when you remove the original antenna, you got all those holes from the different screws that you have to seal from its mounting hardware. So this is a perfectly templated mounting adapter that covers all those holes that this pretty much just bolts through. But it's another like 25 bucks. I'll link it to, but definitely make sure if you're replacing your original and you don't want to just put some caulk in the holes, you just get this, and it should take care of it. Again, sealed box, hadn't even seen it, but I'm opening it first because my roof is so wet that's going to be my place to work. Yeah, so adjust this up here a little bit. So just as expected, this is the outline of the new King antenna. And you can see it's got the same mounting holes. No issues. You can mount this directly to your roof if you wanted to. But this gives you the ability to run caulk around, or roof sealant around this, or double-sided tape, or whatever your application, your preferred application is, and get a good seal on this all the way around, and then even be able to come back and put self-leveling caulk around the outside of this, or turn-and-bind tape. Again, whatever. I'm not a professional by any means. I'm learning along the way, but that's what I'm planning to do. Caulk on the inside, get it good and planted, self-leveler on the outside, and then, and hopefully tomorrow, when I put a new roof coating on, I can roll that silicone roof coating up all the way around this thing and have a really good watertight seal. So let's get going. So guys, you may be a little more concerned with your roof than I am, since I know that I'm resealing this whole thing in a few days. I have 0 chance of rain. It's going to be 1,000 degrees here in Texas. Not that I want to get too carried away, but I got to expose these screw heads to get this thing loosened up and removed. And all of this I'll probably have to get off to get my new mounting bracket really good and flat. So anyway, I'm just saying that to say, if you see this and you're like, wow, he's gonna have leaks, or he's not being very careful on his membrane roof, yeah, you're probably right. But my roof is failing everywhere, and so that's why we're, other than just the heat, and I'm very interested to see if this Henry's product does for me what so many have said it's done for them, and I'm sure it will. I've seen a lot of independent reviews on it, and some people in our Facebook group, so I'm but here in Texas right now, 100-degree days, anything would help and be very much appreciated. Oh, that was pretty easy. We had 6 or 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, actually 11 screws holding this thing in. Nothing but 1 coax for the antenna. The new King 8500, I have to dig around. It actually has some power going to it, so I got to figure that out. But step 1 is done. Again, I know it's concerning seeing that I've got a giant messy hole here, but redoing the roof gives me a little more freedom to be less concerned. So get this cleaned up and see if we can get the new one figured out of how to wire it up. It's supposed to be direct replacement, so shouldn't be much to it. We actually have a power to this one, so I'm sure it's in here. Let me safely dispose of that, and we'll get back to it. manufacturer did an excellent job of cutting a nice clean hole there. You see all of these holes all the way around this thing. That's what I was talking about earlier with this plate. I'm not sure which way it goes, this way or the other way, but you can see this big trim ring here will give you the flexibility of covering all that up. And I'm not too worried about this. Like I said, we'll be putting a fully silicone membrane, or not membrane, a silicone sealant, roof sealant down, which will make one big barrier, at least I hope, to cover all this up. With this template, at least, if you don't have the situation I have where all this comes up together, if you cut this really tight, really careful to scrape all of the excess self-leveling caulk off and protect your membrane, this potentially would easily cover all of your holes. So be sure you get this. Again, this is the King MB 8200 mountain plate. That's why you'll see me always wearing a backpack to get on the roof. Navigating the ladder and coming up, screws, another drill with drill bit, my other one's an impact that I have with me. And then I went ahead and grabbed my attorney bond tape and a seam roller. This is actually a carpet seam roller, but Home Depot was out of the kind they sell with the attorney bond. So same thing, it's a hard roller. But fixing to drill these holes and get this mountain plate down. Just a little tip. And again, I'm all new to the RV world, but I'm not new to membrane roofs. One thing, I always make sure that your tools are gathered and tight. When you get finished using something, like my pocket knife, close it up, put it back in your pack. Any screws that come out, either screw them in a piece of cardboard, put them in your pack, do something, because the last thing you want to do is tear your membrane just because you laid a tool down for a few minutes. This roof is failing so miserably. I don't know if you can see, but it is tacky like gum. Like I can take my finger and just rake it away. So I'm ready to get this roof done. It is just bubble gum nearly up here on top of this thing. So, but that's project for tomorrow. Let's finish what we got started. I'm fixing to drill some holes in this template or adapter and get it set and move along. So here we go. Okay, next lesson learned here. Just so you don't do what I did. When you take this plate, this goes to your power, and you sit it over this, it fits perfect. If you run your coax through the hole with what is going to be mounted inside to turn your antenna, which is really not how this should be. It'll work fine. You're not like you're going to be inside just, spinning your antenna like crazy. But when you look at the directions on the way this comes, and see, I've already siliconed it, made a mess. But when you read the directions, it just shows just connect it here, drop it through the hole. But once you seat this, and this coax is on the outside of this ring, it won't seat tight. There's no way. It has to be. It's a perfect fit. So a big piece of coax won't fit through there. There is a little gap here for this other wire. I may try it again there, but this actually makes it work smoother. So don't do what I did. Try to seat all this first before you get silicone everywhere. Alright, I just learned something here. So when this thing comes, you'll see it's not a perfect circle. This coax has to sit perfectly in that little gap right there, we'll call it, in order for this to seat correctly. So when you screw this on, you kind of got to feed enough slack into this hole to have your coax come up right beside this piece. Otherwise, it's not going to seat perfectly, and it's a mess. That's why you see I've already got silicone everywhere, because I had to take it back apart. This goes to your meter, your signal meter inside. So now I think the reason this gap is like this is because this system's also intended, you'll see this little channel right here, it's also intended if you just run a coax across your roof, if yours isn't already pre-wired like our fifth wheel is, then you have this outlet channel to use, and you can run it however you want. But in order to seat this thing tightly, again, it's got to be up against this, and it has to fit perfectly in this channel. We're going to get it pieced together here, and hopefully be the final time. So now hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. Fits perfectly in that hole. next thing is, if you can see, there's a hole right there. That's where your meter signal wire, as well as the spindle to go in your interior meter signal to be able to turn the antenna on the roof. I've got to feed those down through the hole. I think just get it mounted down, and then the rest is on the inside. So since I have such a gap here in my membrane, even though technically my silicone application should take care of this, I'm gonna get a strip of this turner bond. I'm actually debating putting it all the way around, but it really seems pointless. Maybe just do some self-leveler all the way around on the screw heads, and just the turner bond here on the back. But just so you know what I'm doing, I'm covering up this nasty spot I created. So I'm not exactly sure when my video cut off just then. I looked over and my phone said it had shut off due to temperature. So that is why, again, we're working on this roof, trying to get this thing cooler in Texas. Look at this. You can see, get out of the light. Those little indentions right there. That's for my tripod, and I'm using a little bitty lightweight knockoff Gorilla Pod. So this thing weighs, I don't know, half a pound maybe, but I think this turned out really well. Gotta get inside, hook up the last two components. I may continue up here doing some sealant work, like around these with the self-leveling caulk, and get this done before getting in the air. Just get a few more things knocked out before it's 110 up here, even though apparently it's too hot for the iPhone. So I will finish this up when I get inside and start installing the control switch. Just want to show you what I'm doing here real quick. I'm working on some of the self-leveling caulk. This is the skylight over the shower, and you can see this is how dirty it was. I've already done that little vent, did around the antenna, but I thought I better scrub some of this off because you can see, I mean, totally different there. And I'm not sure how necessary it is with this self-leveling caulk, but I want to do the best I can, make sure I get a good seal. Man, I'm glad to be inside to do this part. I don't know what the heat index is yet, but my iPhone would not stay on video, and that's on an iPhone 10X, and it just kept going off on temperature. So I was scrubbing around skylights and stuff, trying to get those ready for the self-leveling caulk, and sticking to the membrane, and it's coming up. And so anyway, came down, finished this up inside. I'll show you the last few steps of installing this power receiver actuator, they call it. All it does is it just shows you the strength, has a LED lights on it, so as you turn the antenna, it shows you where it's picking up the strongest signal. So pretty cool if it works. But we'll get this in, and then even though we already have this feature on the wall, I think I'm going to go ahead and swap it out with theirs, just because it came with it, and kind of makes sense. Keep it working with the component it's intended to. So anyway, I'm going to swap these last few pieces out. This is where the editor will do the fast forward magic, so you don't have to watch all the boring steps of one screw after another. But not much left to it. This is actually, the shaft comes down, it spins it, and it spins freely. And this is actually just what gives this the signal to light up the LEDs. So pretty simple system. So I'll get to it. So that's all it is to it. You literally just hook up the signal coax and put the knob. You see it's got a little arrow on it. It has a little nipple on the end of the shaft to make sure that you align it with the arrow, and the antenna is front facing. It's got LED lights right there to show you signal strength, which I'll show once it's connected. And this is your on off. Pretty simple system. And got the cover, and it comes with a sticker that shows, you know, attenuator, rotate, and on and off switch. Pretty sure Jenny won't want that on, so it's optional. So that's it. Pretty clean design. On off there. And this is our current jack, and it actually has power. You can turn it on there. Let's just see what it did. And it actually powered. Turns on and off. And you can see you got one LED flickering right there. Let's see if we... Need to see what this does. There's a little Phillips head screw adjustment. Oh, there you go. Turn it and it's got all kind of signal. Now what's this do? Just lost one. Gain one. I really like to see that thing go way up. So we're locked in at 2 right there. I still need to look at the book and see what that does though, but I'm not sure. I'll get the manual out real quick and see. I assume I need to go ahead and change this since it's not necessarily their part, just to make sure we got a complete system. So this actually looks exactly like this one. I don't know that there's a whole lot of reason to do this. And one thing that I noticed is this one has an option for your satellite if you're hooked up at a park to go from here to your TV, and also TV in. And this one only has one, but it still has all the connections, so I'm assuming it sends the signal all through one piece of coax. I hope. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it out. Like I said, make sure we're using the compatible components and getting all the signal we can. So I'm gonna turn this device off just to make sure I don't have any surges. And this one, since it was for the cable for RV parks, I assume, I'm hoping it all comes through our box on the outside to this one jack. So I'm just going to drop it off in the wall. At least I know where it's at. It's 2 screws away if I need it. So. Looks like 2 is it. Well, I hope you found some value from this today. It was definitely an adventure for me. From the iPhone cutting off heat to sticking to my roof. But all lessons learned. Hope you learned some that will save you some time if you decide to do this install of the King 8500 and the mounting plate. I'll give an update in the comments later on and let you know how it's working, but it seems to be a really good system, like I said, from the reviews. So if you found some value in this, please give me a like. It would definitely help us grow in our new channel. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. We would really appreciate it. Hope you come along for all of our RV adventures and maintenance and hiking and all that we have coming in the future. So hope you have a blessed day.